Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, guests, good evening. My name is Noor, and I believe I am the latest member of this club. And I wanted to thank you for allowing me to be here today and for being able to share my story of how I got to speaking in front of you on this Wednesday. It's a short story. I was born and raised in Karachi, and like many of you, I spent the first 18 years of my life as a student. Like many of you, I got into a fair amount of trouble my first 18 years. But mostly, I was a good student, I worked hard, I was just intent on finding out who I was. When I was 18, I was granted admission into university in America. I was going to do my undergraduate degree in New York City. New York City! I was so excited. I had these cheesy visions of myself riding up and down the elevators of the Empire State Building and going to Central Park and watching the Mets and the Yankees and eating those perfect little hot dogs that they have on the street corners, the ones with, that one strip of mustard and that perfect splotch of ketchup. It was going to be great. And it was great. For the most part, I loved my university. My professors were fantastic. It was pretty perfect. Well, it would have been perfect if it wasn't for this one tragic event that happened pretty much as soon as I got there. Many of you will remember what happened on this day, September 11th, 18 years ago. Being in New York City as a Pakistani, as a Muslim, with an Arab name, was not easy. New Yorkers were angry. More than angry, they were scared. And when they found out where I was from, there were so many questions. They started in my politics class. Then they started in restaurants. Then they happened in elevators. And the question was similar. People would say, "You're from Pakistan? Why do people hate us?" Why do people hate us? I was 18 years old. I didn't hate anyone. I was just there for the hot dogs. The truth is, I wasn't equipped to handle questions like these. This was a delicate issue, and I had just turned 18 years old, and I didn't know how to react. So I stayed silent. I kept my head down, I studied, I graduated, I left. I think about that time a lot now. I keep having these fantasies of myself walking back into that classroom and giving a rebuttal. Not so much a rebuttal, just the most eloquent speech those students had ever heard. If I could go back in time, I would tell them, there's nothing to fear. Pakistanis, Americans, we're all the same. We all have aspirations. We all have hopes. There's actually more similarities between the two of us than there are differences. And there's really, really nothing to fear. But at the time, I wasn't equipped to handle this. And that's why I'm here today. I realized that I want to show up. I want to use my voice. And I want to find the words. See, these days we live in a time of a 24-hour news cycle. And the news we're getting these days all the time is tense. It's not great. It doesn't make you feel that good. And the way I see it, the only way to get through it is by having a great sense of humor and having conversations and just keeping dialogues going. And that's what I'm hoping I'll achieve at Toastmasters with all of you guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here.